Hello and welcome back to All the Best Podcast. This one's late. I've been sticking to a pretty decent schedule of posting like every other day, and technically this is still the other day. It just won't be posted tonight because it's already like 1 in the morning. But I wanted to talk. I needed to talk, I think. It's been an interesting 24 hours. I guess I can start with the last eclipse that we had, the one in Leo, whooped my ass. My God, for like a solid 2 weeks leading up to that bad boy, and then to it actually happening, I was getting my ass handed to me. Okay. I don't know if this one will be posted. Maybe this one just needs to come out because I got some things to discuss. First of all, I don't know which one of my dogs, or if it was both of them, got into the pill case, and went to fucking town on their medicine, on my medicine. I'm assuming that it might have just been my dog Scooby, and if it was him, then he was after the heart medicine that my other dog Peanut gets because it smells like maple syrup. And Peanut, bro, go away, por favor. Thank you so much. So, Scooby's the only one that's like lethargic and not feeling great from the medicine. And I mean, he's okay. I've been watching him all day. He's just really like lethargic and having a hard time like walking and moving and all the rest of that kind of stuff. So been watching him, give him some activated charcoal, been giving him water. He's still eating, which is great. Peanut seems just fine, so I don't know if he got into it, but like I literally just restocked the medicine the night prior, and my boy went to town on so much of it, and he's only like 11 pounds. How this dog is still standing and fighting and wanting to eat and drink water and everything else truly baffles me. And like, I'm grateful that he's still here and he's still alive, but of course I'm concerned because I couldn't take him to the vet. I can't cover that bill. And then if there are side effects to carry on from this point, it's just questions about how to manage that going forward. But it's strange. I have two trains of thought on that. It's strange because on one hand, I feel like I should be, or I feel very calm about it all. And I don't know if it's just like the acceptance, of it is what it is. I don't know if it's, I was reading some of the things that the app, The Pattern, has posted about, the time frame of life that I'm in and what to expect and all that. And I'm in like a Saturn cycle, if you will. And it's that and a few other things. But with those things, it's like, there's going to be some shit that goes down that is frankly unfair, and you just have to sit with it, And I'm like, yeah, no, this would certainly constitute under that, because why is this even a thing? We were having such a great day, Why is this a thing? So it's that, and then but it's like, even with that, I feel like I want to be more worried, or I feel like my past response to this would have been far more worry and obsession and everything else. And it's just acceptance, Like, of course I'm worried. Of course I want him to live. Of course I want him to be able to process this out of his body and be okay. But like, I have no idea. I can't control it. All I can do is exactly what I'm doing. And maybe that's why I am releasing. Maybe that's why I am accepting this as it is. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. If you hear that, that's baby girl sharpening her nails on this old armchair that I have that is effectively her scratching post. Has been for years. It was kind of like the deal that we came up with that she gets to scratch that so long as she doesn't scratch anything else in my house, and it's held up. The couch, struggling. Everything else, there she goes. She got stuck in it. So that's one train of thought on that. The other one that I have is like, my mom had 3 kids, myself and my 2 brothers. And, technically now I have 3 kids with my 2 dogs and my cat. And it's like, I think in these moments of struggle, I really start to understand, probably why she reacted in some instances the way that she did. Like, when one thing is going wrong with one kid, you really hyper focus on that kid and kind of want the rest of them to go fuck themselves for a little bit, like, please go entertain yourself while I try to take care of this in this situation. And I do the same thing for each one of them whenever something goes down. And I mean, I don't know. I'm not here to say whether it was always equal, none of that kind of stuff. Like, it doesn't matter at this point. All I'm saying is that, I get it. And I get snapping on the other ones because they're being inconvenient. I think where we differ is I repair a lot faster and I make the effort to repair a lot sooner. So if something happens, or if I'm rude to one of them, I apologize. I try to make it better. Even though, like, right now I am so overstimulated, I don't want to be touched, I don't want to be licked, I don't want to be near my pets, but they're here. I have one of them crawling into my arms as we speak, and the other one flanking the other side. So, yeah, I guess that's just life with it, huh? So that's that. I rode a bike for the first time in like 8 years yesterday, which was amazing. Super glad that I chose to get an electric bike because the hills of Georgia be healing, be healing and healing. And I rode I made it so far. I turned around because my ass hurt. Like, that's one thing that you just kind of forget about until you're back in it. But baby, my ass hurts as we speak. Tender. But I had a blast, man. Had a fucking blast. I could feel my inner child. Saw hella deer, hella butterflies and dragonflies, and there was a breeze. Man, life was just sweet. And I had been so afraid of even taking my bike out of the house, not even riding. And this is my first e-bike, so I had to figure out how to do that whole thing. But all of it was super simple. It was just getting it out of the house. Like I said, my neighborhood isn't one that I cherish. And I don't know why. It just felt like having this bike put a target on my back, It made it seem like I have something worth pilfering. And I hate that for me because it holds you up so much from like doing anything in your life. And I think with having this podcast and speaking, it is translating into so many other areas of my life, like not caring about being cringe. How could I, because this is just going to be what it is. You feel me? And with that sense of release and liberation, it transfers into everything else to the point where I'm like, I want to ride my damn bike. I had a dream about it. And I woke up a little late that day, so I was like, okay, I'll wait till it's later in the day in the afternoon to go. And I sat there all day and just waited. And that's on ADHD. But when it was finally time, like I got up at 4:20, I was like, hell yeah. Got dressed, hit the road. What's going on, Popeyes? Oh, okay. Love that for us. You okay? Yeah. All right. Oh, you're upset because she came and sat on you. Yeah. Well, she's here now, so what are you going to do about it? Yeah. And I don't know what medicine he took, so, or if he was a part of the medicine thievery, so I don't want to give him anything extra either, Not tonight. Not tonight. We'll see how it all pans out, I don't know if I'm going to be getting any sleep, and that sucks, because even though I slept great last night, I didn't sleep enough. It took me too long to fall asleep. And then, you know, I was up and I was kind of like in and out of sleep just because I wanted to get the day started, but like I wanted to sleep too. So it left me in that weird limbo space, you know? But, yeah, man. I don't know. Life is something else, you know? I think with that whole Saturn thing or whatever, and I hate that Scooby is now the next layer. My dog that ate the medicine, I hate that he's now the next layer of this lesson, which is like, there's genuinely so much that we don't have control over, you know, and all that we can do is move from what we can control. Um, and that's all that I can do, you know, like I don't want to, another thing that I think about is I'm a very mental person, you know, and I don't want to intellectualize my feelings. But I cried a little, you know, as one would whenever you're worried about your baby. I feel the feelings, but at the same time, it's like life still has to continue. No matter what goes down, life still has to keep going. What's up, Bubbush? Hmm? Hi. Great to see you. Super handsome boy. Um, so yeah, man. Life keeps on trucking. That makes me think about, well, it doesn't, but this was something that I wanted to talk about today, and I guess it's great that we get into it in the second half of this here episode. I think I'm gonna try to keep these things round the 20, no more than like 22 minutes, 23 minutes, you know? But I saw this podcast once. God, I can't remember either name of the dudes that did it. Black dude, always on podcast. That's the best I got right now. And not the one from South Africa either. I think this one is like British or something. Probably not helping, but here we are. What is it? The Diary of a CEO. I think that's his. But he was on with some white dude or whatever, and they were talking about the concept of being dragged or being driven, like I guess towards your dreams or towards whatever it is that you do in life. And I think I had sat with that. I've been sitting with it since 2025, since I've heard it. And, you know, with what happened with Scooby and everything else, like, I think a past version of me, it would have been so easy to just let that tank the whole day, everything, you know, like, fuck these dreams, fuck everything else. This is all we can do for right now. You know, it's just sit here and panic and live in that for however long we got to live in it. But it's like, I am driven to get back to this, you know? I want to do this. I enjoy doing it. And it's not meant to be perfect, you know? It's just meant to be done. It's meant to be a way of like, I mean, as you can tell, expressing myself, communicating, getting comfortable with that, getting comfortable with my voice and my thoughts and all that coming from a very authentic place because there's, you know, nothing interfering with that. And so yeah, this is definitely something where I feel driven towards it. This is like a self-propelled thing for me. And there's so many other factors that are, you know, where you get dragged, you know. I'm trying to think of some right now. I think I was dragged by my God, there's so many influences, like familial influences, being in the military, even going to school and stuff, you know, all dragged. Again, having a conversation with the same friend that I've spoken about in like 2 previous episodes, where I told her, you know, that I just needed one more quarter to close out. And she was like, oh man, how much does it cost? And I told her, and I was like, student loans aren't a thing or aren't an option for me. And she was like, oh, well, why don't you just see if like a job will sponsor you or something like that? And I'm like, no, like it went from being something where like they were reasonable answers, at least to me, or reasonable questions like, okay, have you tried like loans and stuff? I'm like, okay, that's reasonable. That's something that you would expect. But then to be like, yeah, you should just go get like a job and hope that they'll pay for your degree. And it's like, I'm not gonna fucking do that, you know? If that was the case, I would just get a job and I wouldn't, you know, be doing what I'm doing right now. I wouldn't care. I wouldn't be trying to, I don't know, live this life. And I don't know if that makes sense. So I'm gonna try to explain it better. Peanut, what are you doing, baby? What are you doing? Huh? You're just getting wrapped up in cords. You're not doing anything that makes a lick of sense, Pookie man. There you go. That's a good lad. I love you. What the fuck? Oh, okay. So, like, okay. So, one thought on that. I understand that that's something that she would do, you know? And it's like, I have to respect that she's giving advice from her point of view in life. And I understand that our two ideologies can differ. So, for instance, she is currently like closing out her master's, and she has, I think, like 2 bachelor's degrees and stuff. Super smart girl, you know, we'll never take that from her. And she's working, but she's also fucking exhausted and overextended, and her body is like, please stop. But she got hella drive, you know. Like I said, I respect the hustle. I will never take that away from her. Um, but it's like there's a cost towards everything, you know. And I don't know what drives, or if it's a drag for her, or whatever the case is. But I know for me, it would be a drag for me to go and get into that job. So now I'm being dragged into it because of insecurity, because of what's the word, fear of not having enough, you know. Being dragged back into another 2 institutions when I know that them shits would burn me out instantly, when I know that I have, you know, health issues, and when I have dreams where I specifically do not want to be held to those standards, you know? And I understand that that's a huge way that the world has worked for a long time, you know, the degree, the job, blah, blah, blah. That's not what the fuck I'm on anymore. So again, like, it is not an outlandish response, but to me, I think, and where I am in my life, it's like, it's just incompatible, you know? But I still appreciate her for telling me that, you know, for something that is true for her, for something that makes sense for her, you know, because every perspective is valid. You don't have to assimilate to them. And I think that's another thing that's fantastic too, because in the past, I probably would have been like, yeah, let me go ahead and do that. And like dove headfirst into that fucking, you know, train of thought and followed it all the way through. And then wound up burnt out and miserable and, you know, back to square one, trying to find my voice again, you know? So I don't know. Respect to it for sure, but not for me. Not for me at all. Um, Another thing that I've noticed about this current eclipse that I think we're having tomorrow in Pisces, tomorrow, um, is it doesn't hurt. It hasn't hurt all week, and usually I get my ass handed to me like weeks before, or the week before a major event comes. Besides Scooby, this has been like, or Scooby has been the main riff in all of this. You know, everything else has been copacetic. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that I am following this dream. A lot of the discourse that I saw in the pattern was like, if you're doing something where you feel aligned, it's gonna feel fucking breezy. You know, peaches and cream. Hey, it's 111, so make a wish. Hang on, let me make a wish. Okay. Um, yeah, it's easy breezy, or it's gonna be easy breezy if you're doing something that is meant for you. But if you're not, you're gonna fucking feel it, and it's gonna be filled with delays and, you know, resistance and everything else. And I felt that when I was pursuing a few other paths, or like trying to force things to work. Like, I'll give you an example of dragging. I enjoy making art, you know, clearly. But it's like trying to force that and make that, you know, how I sustain my lifestyle was draining me from even wanting to touch it, from wanting to complete anything, from wanting to post it, you know. And then when I did post it, being caught up in like the views and everything else, and it being unsuccessful, and then spiraling like, why am I even trying? And it's like dragging myself through that made me so resistant to something that I should just love and enjoy doing for the love of the game, you know? But, and I think that's like something that's so important in all of our lives. It's like, what are the things that are dragging us? Um, it could be like how we see ourselves based off of the lens that our family put towards us. It could be expectations from jobs and from, you know, relationships, other people. Like, there can be so many things that will drag you through a life that you do not want for yourself. And you have to like be brave enough and curious enough to put the brakes on that and, you know, take over, control the steering, and drive yourself towards what actually matters for you. However that looks, you know? And I'm not saying that it's easy, but nothing in life really is, you know? It's just, you get to choose your hard. And if I had to choose between this and, you know, having to accept life as it is, and even, you know, the hard pill of not being able to take my dog to the vet for an emergency and stuff like that, like, I would choose this over searching for a job that would absolutely wreck me and hoping to get it, having to mold myself into what they want me to be and hope that it sticks, you know, all that kind of stuff. So, and it's not to say that I don't think about it, because I think about it every day. I think about every day being like, well, fuck, maybe I should just go ahead and do that thing, but I know that I cannot. So it's like I have to stick with the path I'm on, trust what I'm doing, because life is continuously showing me that this is where I'm supposed to be. And maybe even the Scooby thing was just another lesson, like, this is still where you're supposed to be, even in these bumps in the road where it gets hard, you know? I don't know. I don't know if I even said all of that correctly. I just know that it's true for me. And it sucks. I'm terrified for my boy Scooby, but at the same time, like, I trust that it's just gonna be what it is, you know? And when I can do more, I will do more. When a way can be made, it will be made. There isn't much else that I can do outside of that, you know? So, woof. Woof to real life, you know? Woof, woof, woof. Again, I like this format right now. I'm just playing around with things, seeing how I want to present it, all that. The voice, the words is the main MO, but, you know, whatever visual accompanies may vary from time to time, and I'm cool with that too. I do have some ideas for like specific topics to get into, but I mean, technically I kind of did that today, and I like being conversational. I like that a lot. I don't know how it makes sense for the way that YouTube gets down and stuff, but I think I care more about being authentic and like showing up exactly as I am, because as soon as I have to start, you know, really thinking about it and performing, it falls apart. So, you know, cheers to authenticity, I guess. But yeah, folks, that is I am going to post this. I'm going to rock with it. I want it to be real and honest all day long. And those who feel it will feel it. Those who don't won't. And I respect it. I respect it. So I appreciate you listening. If you stuck it through this long, if you want to tell me about what drives or what might be dragging you, I'd love to hear that too. Please like, share, and subscribe if that tickles your fancy. And until next time, all the best.